G'day, HM Mahara here. BPD hoovering. Is it what you think it is? It's not what you think it is. BPD hoovering is deceptive. When a borderline hoovers you, it is unbeknownst to them sometimes, not even a conscious kind of deception, but they're deceiving themselves first because they're not consciously aware of the repetition cycles that they are repeating when they hoover. So borderline hoovering is also a trap. Because what's the trap? Well, no matter how they hoover you, when they hoover you, or why you think they're hoovering you, they are hoovering you for their own reasons, their own purpose. Might not be that consciously aware of what it is, but they want and they need something. Therefore, they want and they might need you. It could be a setup. It could be a hoover to see if you'll respond, to just ghost and discard you again. Or it could be a hoover with the intention of coming back for object constancy, and they hoover when the next person, has been split to devaluation, and now they're like in BPD limbo, their own limbo, let alone that they put you in limbo. They put many people in limbo. So now people with BPD are in their own limbo between people, so to speak, right? Devaluing the next person, not idealizing you again or anything, but the object constancy factor of their safety still might sit with you, because it might not have been sort of, so one way to describe it is transferred or projected out onto the next person. It depends how fast they cycle through each relationship or situationship, right? But is BPD hoovering what you think it is? No. And why is it a trap? It's a trap because you want it to mean that they realized they were wrong, that they realized, well, they weren't right about you, but that they realized that, this apology they might be giving you, this remorse that could be really real, but it's not going to change anything without them having years of therapy and recovery. So you might think the hoover is, oh, okay, so now they understand something. Now we can try again because they're going to do something different if you're newer to this, right? But no, the BPD hoover is a deceptive trap because it gives you, or you allow it to give you, a false sense of hope. And what is your hope? What is your want in this if you're non-borderline codependent? It's that you want those good feelings of the initial idealization phase back. You want that person back, the person that you thought they were. But when they're hoovering, it's a deceptive trap because by the very nature of it, they're never going to be again the person that you thought they were. Because they weren't, right? So they can't be someone again who they never were. You are hoping that they're going to be that person again. More to the point, even, you just want to feel that good again. You just think that this borderline hoovering you is going to help you to feel so much better and to get out of all the pain that you're in. But it's a deceptive trap because if you do allow them to hoover you and you do have contact, it's a hit, right? You're going to feel a little bit better, but maybe confused and getting hurt at the same time, but feels a little bit better than the suffering since it all ended, right? And so then if you entertain the hoover or even a bit, or you recycle the relationship back, it's all just going to happen same way it did in the first place, and you're going to, if you were ghosted or discarded, that'll happen again. If you sometimes people break up with somebody with BPD and then they get hoovered. So the borderline hoover is a deceptive trap, not one that the borderline sets for you, but a trap that you get to share. Because the borderline is not consciously aware of the repetition, compulsion, repeating factor of what they're doing impulsively one way or the other. And they put themselves in borderline limbo, which is when they're between people. Maybe they don't know how, or they're about to be between people. They don't know how to manage being alone. Maybe many, they don't. Many might, but untreated, usually they don't. The thing is, if they're in this hoovering, and especially after they discarded or ghosted you, then they're now splitting to devaluation someone else, and they've either discarded or ghosted them, or they're trying to monkey branch in reverse. But either way, any way you look at this, what is borderline hoovering really for? And why, more to the point, to people who are non-borderline codependents entertain it and often end up recycling the relationship or getting back into contact only to be ghosted again, and it's so painful. You want that feeling back that you had in the first place. You want that person to be who you thought they were, both of which are just can't happen because it's not who they were. It's a fantasy. It's false hope. It's you trying to escape the pain that you're in now, or may well have been in, or might have been in for like even a year or more or two, and you need to realize that getting a hit from the BPD who's hoovering you is only going to make you hurt, go back to square one and hurt all over again, worse than you might have been hurting before they hoovered you. Make no mistake about it. When a person with BPD hoovers, they put themselves in their own sort of borderline limbo place. And people with codependency, as I said, non-borderline codependents, you have this fantasy still. You have this dream. You want that feeling, those good feelings back. You want that person to be who they were, but they're not who you thought they were. And the feelings, well, they were too good to be true because they weren't really based in reality. And if you're still hanging on to thinking you love them so much, who is it exactly that you're loving? Borderline hoovering, BPD hoovering, is just an invitation to be set again in a trap of deception, which you also enable for yourself to be deceived as they deceive, often without even consciously knowing there's anything deceptive in this repeating pattern of theirs. And if they're untreated, many people, not all with BPD are the same, will just consistently go from one person to the next, and some rather quickly, and back to the last, or maybe back two from before, and then forward again. There's no there. The borderline hoover is the borderline in limbo, the borderline coming back with need, the borderline not even thinking about what happened to you, not even having any idea really consciously of how negatively they've impacted you and your life. And people with BPD are not trying to do this on purpose. They're not like consciously planning to get you somehow. And if you're non-borderline codependent, you need to be full no contact. That means absolutely no way they can contact you, because that's the only way. Not all people with BPD hoover, but this is how people with codependency can get out of that learned helplessness of, I want them back, I want those feelings back, get into healing recovery. I'm out here to work with you if I resonate with you, so that you can heal and you can find those feelings within yourself. And better than anything a person with BPD could present to you, or present it to you in the first place. So it's really an inside job, this recovery from the relationships. You need to not be hooverable. And many people with BPD won't hoover. Lots of people, non-borderline codependents, are stealth reverse hoovering through the social media watching, asking endless questions about that. This is the way that people with codependency continue to refuse to let go. And you need to let go to get in your own healing recovery journey. Let go and work the process through of where it takes you, and the kind of things I've mentioned before, so that you can actually heal and let go and stop looking for the hoover.